The moment that drone dive-bombed into my cow's water trough and sizzled out in a puff of smoke, I knew this wasn't just a neighborly misunderstanding. This was war. And she had no idea who she was messing with. My name's Nate Callahan. I left behind a 2-decade career in military engineering to live a quiet life on a rural farm in Harper County. Chickens, goats, solar panels, that was the dream. No office politics, no commanding officers, just clean air and good work. Until Veronica Harrington moved in across the road. Veronica, or as the neighborhood nicknamed her, Commander Karen, was elected HOA president within a month of arrival. And suddenly, rules started popping up like mushrooms after rain. One of them, mandatory HOA drone surveillance flights for community safety. Most folks grumbled but didn't fight it. I, on the other hand, had a bad feeling from the jump. At first, it was just one drone, then 2, then 4, flying over my property multiple times a day, sometimes hovering right outside my workshop window. I tried to ignore it. I even called Veronica to talk it out. She told me, and I quote, "If you wanted privacy, maybe you shouldn't have built a doomsday bunker in plain sight." It wasn't a bunker. It was a water filtration system. But that didn't matter to her. After a week of low-flying buzzing machines, I finally tracked the drone's signal paths using some old triangulation software I'd built back in my defense contracting days. And bingo, the controller signal came straight from Veronica's back porch. I paid her a visit, license in hand, and told her to stop. She laughed in my face, said the HOA had full aerial rights, and if I didn't like it, I could take it up with the board. The very next morning, 2 drones flew lower than ever. One actually scanned my solar converters. That was the final straw. I dusted off an old piece of equipment labeled Portable Interference Unit. It was military grade, licensed, and fully legal under federal agricultural zoning codes, especially for property protection. The next time those drones buzzed my land, I flipped the switch. One crash-landed in the goat pen. The other nosedived into a pile of compost. Veronica lost her mind. She marched to my gate yelling about $2,000 in damages, threatened to report me to Homeland Security, and accused me of jamming vital community infrastructure. I calmly showed her my jammer license and a copy of the FAA Rural Drone Policy. She stormed off, screaming something about, "You'll regret this." That night, I examined the wreckage. What I found chilled me. The drones weren't just capturing video. One had a thermal sensor aimed at my solar grid. Another had a low-frequency emitter, potentially harmful to livestock. This wasn't neighborhood watch behavior. This was industrial-grade reconnaissance. I reached out to an old friend of mine, Kenny, now working in county planning. He told me something that made my blood run cold. Somioni anonymously had filed for rezoning of my property. They wanted to reclassify my land as underutilized and designate it for potential green development. Veronica wasn't just being nosy. She was laying groundwork to take my land. So I fought back. I installed decoy transmitters, scrambled drone signals with minimal force, and upgraded all my security cams to infrared with off-grid backups. Let her try. I was done playing defense. Then came the fake inspectors. Two men in cheap polos showed up with clipboards claiming to be from the county. They poked around until I confronted them on video. When one accidentally admitted they were hired by the HOA president, I had all the proof I needed. But the final blow. A brown package left at my gate. No return address. Inside, a USB drive labeled HOA internal. It contained emails, HOA meeting notes, even budgeting plans that included bribes to board members. Veronica had signed off on a coordinated plan to push me out using false violations, surveillance, and manipulated code enforcement. I took it all to court. She sued me first. Of course, claimed I destroyed HOA property and endangered the neighborhood. But when the judge saw the emails, drone footage, and my jammer license, things flipped fast. Then came a surprise expert analysis from another buddy in cybersecurity. He confirmed the drones had been illegally modified with military-style surveillance equipment. The judge ordered a cease and desist on all drone flights within 5 miles of my land. But the real win. The fallout. Residents turned on her. At the next HOA meeting, I walked into total chaos. People shouting. Others waiving fines for trivial nonsense. When I played the clip of her drone emitting low-frequency pulses that startled my livestock, the room went silent. And when Cheryl, a board member, revealed Veronica had altered documents and pre-approved drone purchases without votes, the entire board voted to remove her on the spot. Then someone not suggested dissolving the HOA entirely. It passed, 87% in favor. Veronica tried to grab the flash drive on her way out. I told her there were 5 more copies. She didn't argue. A week later, federal agents showed up. The FAA had launched an investigation into her drone activities. Apparently, the mods she used violated multiple federal surveillance and procurement laws. Her property went up for sale shortly after. And me. I went back to farming. But I also got a surprise invitation from a defense contractor who saw the court footage. They were impressed by my DIY drone deterrent system and asked me to consult on rural infrastructure defense. I agreed on one condition: I work from home. Now I spend my mornings with goats and chickens, and my afternoons helping protect farmers from people like Veronica. I didn't go looking for a fight. But when someone tries to fly over your life like they own it, sometimes you have to remind them, you may be off their radar, but they're not off yours. Let me know in the comments though you think HOAs have gone too far. Or are they necessary to keep neighborhoods in check? I'd love to hear your take.